and welcome to the first event of the Bombay Technologists Association for the new academic year. On behalf of the Bombay Technologists, I extend a warm welcome to all of you present here today for this special research paper writing and logo release workshop. We are truly honored to have with us a respected convener and our editor-in-chief, Professor Anant Kapdi, our associate editors, Professor R.T. More from Department of Polymer and Surface Engineering, and Professor Ameya Bhaumik from Department of Mathematics. And of course our enthusiastic audience. We'd also like to introduce our other associate editors who are not present here. Professor Neetu Jha from Department of Physics, Professor Reshamwala from Department of Biological Sciences and Biotechnology, Professor Kharkar from Department of Pharmaceutical Science and Technology, Professor Sandeep More, Department of Fibers and Textile Processing Technology, Professor Nabanita, Department of Specialty Chemicals and Technology, Professor Jyoti Gokhale, Department of Food Engineering and Technology, Professor Hitesh Pawar, Department of Chemistry, Professor Manish Yadav, Department of Chemical Engineering. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We kindly request everyone to refrain from using their phones during the event. To begin the session, may I now invite our convener, Professor Anant Kapdi, to kindly address the gathering and share a few words with us.
Good evening, everyone. We started a bit late, so apologies from my side and the team side. I think today's workshop, if I may say, I think Dr. Reshamwala is here. I think you should come forward. This workshop is mainly for you all as enthusiastic students to understand what you should be doing for writing research papers. We'll be discussing on various points, but just to give a slight glimpse, I think we'll talk about Bombay Technologists, which many of you might be knowing, or still I would say most of you might not be knowing a clear idea about exactly Bombay Technologists. It was something which was initiated in 1950s. It was K. Venkatram, Professor K. Venkatram who initiated it. Idea was very simple. Undergraduate students, master's students, PhDs, one thing which is common in ICT or UDCT at that time is research. So why not incorporate research into your undergraduate teaching? You will be given an opportunity to write something, either a review or if you are doing some research projects, how do you go about writing your own original research article? This is what is the theme of the workshop. This is what we will be doing for the entire year. We are going to ask you to submit your proposals. You will be submitting not just proposals, but also going on to write papers. But we'll try to train you in the ethical and detailed way about exactly how you can write a good quality research paper. But this is not just for your undergraduate, master's or PhD. Anyone who wants to go abroad or want to study further, this is going to be one of the starting points of your career where you will get excited about research. We'll be interacting with our associate editors who have been appointed probably for the first time. This is kind of the first year in last so many years of Bombay Technologists that there's a decision taken that some of your own professors from departments have been selected as associate editors. This is almost like an international level of system where your papers will be analyzed, checked by associate editors and could be submitted outside into their network for reviewing. So you get a feel directly of exactly how the research papers internationally are published, what is the exact procedure which is followed. We are trying to replicate all these details in front of you as part of Bombay Technologists. The reason being, most of us are publishing heavily outside in the international journals of high repute in the world. Many of us are very high, big names in research. They have contributed heavily into those areas. Some of the models have been used in various governments. And in such a case, you have direct access to many of us. It's not that today I'm speaking and tomorrow I'll not be available. You can simply come to my office or to all the associate editors, go there, talk to them, and they can give you first-hand understanding of what is research and how you, as a student, can also contribute towards writing a very good quality paper. So on behalf of the group, our team, I would like to thank you first of all for coming in such big numbers, and I think I would like to now give mic back to, and I'll come back after some time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words. We really look forward to fill our arsenal with the knowledge we get from you in today's workshop. Also, our apologies to Professor Reshamwala. We didn't see you coming here. Now moving on to an exciting moment of today's event, the official release of our club's logo. May I request our overall event head Mohini to kindly do the honors.
Good evening, everyone. It is truly an honor for me to unveil the brand new logo of the Bombay Technologist. This logo is more than just a design. It represents our legacy, our vision, and the creativity of our community. I would like to take a moment to thank our dear design team. They have worked very hard to create this logo. Their efforts have given us a logo that we can proudly carry for the rest of the years that come. Now, without further delay, let's reveal the new face of the Bombay Technologist.
Thank you, Mohini. The scale of our design team is truly commendable. This logo will surely stand as a symbol of our vision and efforts. And now, the most awaited part of the evening, the lecture by Professor Kapdi. Writing research and review papers the right way is really important for scientific minds like us, because it makes our work clear and impactful. Giving proper citations shows honesty in research, and presenting data correctly makes our work more reliable. Hence, he will tell us how crucial it is to learn the correct way of writing research papers. So, the stage is yours.
What we are going to do is, when we are discussing about type of research papers, you can even jot it down, otherwise I can send you this PPT, much easier for you to then keep in mind. We'll create a PDF out of this and then it will be with you. Then if you have some questions, feel free to ask so that we can answer those. This presentation has been divided into two parts. The first one is focusing mainly on the type of research papers that you can write, trying to give more details about exactly what all types are there, something which we are going to also replicate in case of Bombay Technologists. And next time, once your excitement is more, at that time we will go ahead and talk about all the various aspects about how to write, from where to write, what are the various ideas you can create, and the various types of details which are required for having a good quality research paper. So I think we will make a start with the first part, which is data representation. So the question is, how many of you have at least tried to check the various journals which are there in your area? Has anyone tried to see? Okay. Just you can raise your hands. Not many. Good. I think many of you might be first years, second years, so it's very difficult for you to probably understand what is research, why to do research, and what are these papers all about? Why are people publishing? So if you can go to the next slide. I think don't worry about the write-ups. I'll explain it to you. Most of times, when you're talking about research, the first thing which comes to your mind is PhDs. Those who are doing research, PhD students who are there, or master students who are there, they should be doing research. The reason for them to do it is very simple. They have to get a degree. The whole degree is based on research. They have to create something original and they'll have to go ahead and publish. These are the criteria that they have to go ahead with. You as an undergraduate or a master's, where you are not supposed to formally write a thesis, why should you not write a paper? If that is a question which is there in your mind, yes, this is probably the path. So you can have a criteria of research writing, or you could write it because you are probably looking at it as a future. This could be the path that you want to take for future. Okay? But there are certain things which you need to keep in mind. So if you look at it, you want to always see your name. Most of us have LinkedIn profiles. You have Facebook and many others, and you want to always write something so that everyone gives you a like. But many times you've seen that you have to be very creative to get the like. Is it not? So if you write a research paper and if it is published, it's invariably going to give you many likes, because you are going to be the one in very few people who might be having a published research paper. If this is a stage that you want to have, then Bombay Technologies definitely is going to be one of your first options, because this is something which is available in your own institute. With that confidence, you can always look at publishing outside in bigger journals as well. So definitely your name is important. If you get that name, well, you can get importance. People are going to say, oh, you have done a great job. But then you can always work on it further. Your name gets splashed everywhere. We all feel that way. If you get a publication or Nature paper, someone has got it. Oh, such great excitement. Everyone gets excited. Oh, it's a big paper. But it stays with you. Many people are going to look at that paper, and that's how your name grows over a period of time. So then there are questions that when I'm writing a paper, this is, if you see the cartoon, this is from PhD Comics. The idea is very simple. A PhD student, a master student, or anyone who's probably working with a professor, okay, and wants to write a research review article or a research article. The expectations are very simple, like the way the expectations are in a lecture hall. What are your expectations in lecture hall? Sir, you can teach anything, but please give me notes at the end of the day. Don't you think? Once you get the notes, you are very happy. See, our own students, yes, thank you. Okay. So that's the expectation the first time when it happens, that a professor is there, the student goes to them, the expectation will be, I'll give all the data, please write it. I'll be happy, I'll just stay at home and get it published. But it's not easy. Okay. Sometimes it's mutual. Unless until you take effort, how would you know what is the process of writing a research paper? Next point is it possible that you are so smart and strong enough that you get the experience, you write the paper, you go to the professor and say, Professor, I have written a Nature paper, don't worry about it, sit in your office, I will get it published. Second point is valid for all of you. Really? Do you think you will put so much efforts? Will you do that? I'm not hearing. Will you do that? Will you do that? No, bhi aa raha hai. But that's perfectly understandable, because how do you know? How would you know that you want to write a very high quality research article? You want to have some experience. So professors or any PhD student, anyone who is a senior can always help you. Someone like us who can mentor you as well. That is what we are creating in this process as well. How many of you have gone through this phase during your 10th standard and 12th standard exam? पढ़ाई तो करना है, बहुत कुछ you're solving, but then you're just trying to open your eyes and it's like, oh, it's a headache. Same thing happens when you're writing a research paper. It's just not easy, because what's happening? Like, how am I going to write it? Lot of confusion, lot of problems, and still someone gives you a deadline. Let's say you work with someone, even your friend, and say that, okay, get it written within 10 days. 10 days already gone because it's Diwali vacation. You're roaming around everywhere, and on the 9th day, in the night, you want to write something. And you tell your mom you want to have a jug of coffee. Exactly what happens. So much confusion. The time flies and you might not really understand now what to do. Time has already gone out of here. So you have to plan. Planning is very important when you are writing a research paper. Very, very important. Now comes the fact that how many of you knew that there are so many types of research papers? Just look at that slide. Have you ever thought about this, even those who knew that there are research papers? So many types. So we'll go one by one. We'll discuss slightly here, and further slides we'll talk about it more clearly. Research articles. Anyone knows what is a research article? So, yes, please.
Do something and then you publish it. What are your observations?
Absolutely. So something which is original. Let's say you have been given a project. How many of you have applied for the PT UGRP program? Excellent. So you have been given some project. You have been working on that project. You get some results. And now you think that, okay, these are exciting results and you want to go ahead and publish it. This is your original work. And you are happy that if it comes out in terms of a publication, it will be satisfying because you have worked for it. Okay? That is what is called as a research article or an original research article. Original means it's your own data, you have created that data, you have evidence for it, you have what is called as a journal. How many people who have been working on projects, they are maintaining a journal? Or you're keeping in mind? So journal is also important because if evidence is required that you have worked on some project, you need to have that evidence. You have to maintain a journal, not the practical journal. Practical journals are different. Don't show me a practical journal and say, I want to publish this. Not possible. Okay? I would have already published it myself because the practicals are done by us. But there are two types of research articles. Let's say I'll ask you a question. If you have been working for 3 months and you got some amount of data which is really good in sense, you are trying to compete with someone outside, many of them who have not been able to analyze your data so critically, and you have got a very, very fundamental result. But you don't have so much data to publish. And this can become the next level of innovation. What do you do with this data? Anyone? Could you sit on it? Could you just say, okay, I'm happy, I got the data, I'm so great? Or do you want to publish? You want to publish, but the data is not lot of data. You have only small amount of data just to get an evidence that something is important, something what you have deduced probably can become the next level of innovation. What do you do is what is called as a communication article. Communication means a very short article, 2 pages, maximum 4 pages. Not that you have to elaborate on all the data, you are not giving a lot of evidence or details. Very short article, but clearly defining the problem that you have, whatever has been talked about in literature, let's say, and your evidence clearly mentioned that this is what we are talking about. This is the next level of innovation that can happen. Now the question comes about novelty. Has anyone heard about this word novelty? Where? There are some stores as well, no? Novelty stores. Not that. So what is novelty according to you? New novelty. New is novelty or novelty is new? Originality. Any other word that you want to use? Okay, just a general explanation. If I say that I have got a novel compound, what does that mean? Unique compound. Okay, if I am having one compound and he's having one more compound, both are unique, right? No, people different, compounds also unique. So where is the novelty then? How do you define novelty in terms of science? Yes,
It's
please.
very different from what came before.
So whatever you are comparing with, whatever was already published, whatever was already made, how does your material differ and probably improves the quality or the properties that are expected? So let's say semiconductors. How many people know about semiconductors? Okay, so what are the properties of semiconductors? No, I'm not asking a 10-mark question. Some semiconductor details have been already published, let's say till 2025 Jan. And if you come to know that this is the level, this is probably the criteria, this is the value that has to be obtained, and your material has gone beyond that, it shows much better semiconductor properties. That's, in scientific terms, that will be called as a novel. It's a novelty. That means you have gone past whatever was known till now. Now you need to come out of that data as early as possible, because otherwise someone else will go beyond you, because world is very fast. In such a case, you have a choice that you can go ahead and publish what is called as a communication. A very short, less amount of data but very high on novelty. That is something which you can publish as a communication article. Very few journals have communication. I think one of the biggest known journal in that case is Nature Communication. You have science communication as well, Nature Communication, you have jazz communication. Few journals which are very well known only having communications, 2 to 4 pages max. Then comes the next part. If let's say I've already published a communication, now I want to stamp my authority. And I say that I want to have the maximum amount of evidence that I want to give for the details what I have said is novel. I will go for a full paper. Full paper is full-fledged information, every detail you can, all the evidence you want to give, everything you can give as a part of full paper. Now, most of you, when you are working in the lab as well, your first choice is going to be your full paper article, because you will try to get as much data as possible for the various materials, characterizations, everything, all the details. And then based on that, you are going to submit a full paper where referees are going to ask you for information. And if you have provided all the information, no problem. If not, if they are not satisfied, they'll ask you for more information. Here you are literally giving every kind of evidence, all the various scope in the sense, how large is your reaction condition, how much you can create it, what type of molecules you can create, what are the limitations. Every detail will come into the full papers. Now, not all of us get an opportunity to write a full paper, because even if you work for 6 months, the project data which is there is not always enough. But you can definitely try for a full paper. At least with BP, you should definitely try. Here I want to tell you one thing. You need to also understand whatever data you create, who is owning that data, whose ownership is your data. Is it your ownership? Is it your supervisor? Or is it your institute? Anyone? Some people are saying institute. How about others?
Multiple owners.
Multiple owners. Multiple owners, if they are in the same lab, whose lab is it? Exactly. So the first right of all the data which gets created in the institute, the ownership remains with the institute. Publishing is done by professors, but the data owning, your documents, what you create, evidence, everything is owned by the institute. Okay? You are now going to submit an article. If you are working under a professor, can you have the full right to go ahead and publish an article on your own? So who is the first person that you have to go and get the permission from? is your supervisor. Yes, don't go to the institute. No one will answer you. The professor has been given the full right from the institute perspective to publish articles. So under the aegis of the institute premises, you can say, we are given the authority to publish. So it's our lab. In that case, it is the professor who has to be given the first priority to have the permission to go ahead and publish. Okay? These documents will also be circulating amongst you who are going to submit an article. You have to sign it, and if there is another person or a professor who is involved, you have to get their permissions as well. Okay? All these details will be provided to you later on. Then comes the most important one, something which most of you want to write is a review article. How many want to write a review article? So first of all, number is small, but I'm sure when other people come to know, they want to also write a review article, because this is not original data. This is not an original research article. This is compilation or understanding of whatever has already been published by others all over the world. You taking one specific area and you writing a review article, reviewing all the published papers in a very critical way. What is critics? How do you criticize? Do you criticize in a, what you call, a constructive way? Or you criticize just like that? So if a document comes to you, your friend has written something, how do you criticize? If you want to put up a critical view, would you go and strongly criticize it? Or you can be more constructive in your criticism?
So you're asking questions.
Yes, you have to ask questions, very good part of your first scientific idea. You have to ask questions. Questions like what? Let's say you are reviewing something. What questions you will ask?
About the paper.
Okay. Where do you get the data from? Okay. If you are already reviewing, let's say 10 papers, you will be asking a question whether they are following the same path or they have something new to add. If every time there is an incremental change which is happening, where is the state of the art? What really is happening currently? Whether the papers are published very well or there are some flaws which are there. Sometimes you can be critical that way, but you don't write that way. There is a different way of writing in a constructive way, whether it is not appealing to you, and you can still detail it in a very nice way. So a specific area which comes to your mind, any area which is in your mind, which are you fascinated with, whichever areas you are reading about. What is the current? Yes, please. Quantum physics, yes. So quantum physics is pretty vast. Any specific area in quantum physics? Okay, it will take some time. Don't worry. Anything related to environment? Any one of you?
Carbon reduction.
Yes. Carbon reduction. Carbon dioxide reduction, or overall carbon reduction. Okay. So now, if this is one area which you are excited about and you want to write a review, what will you do? What will be the pathway that you will follow? You'll have to read a lot of papers, unless until you know who has done what. You will not be able to write something on your own. So you'll have to start working on these things, and we'll be giving you criteria or details how you can even write a paper by referring to others. When you are reading something, how you can create your own ideas into writing a very clear-cut article, okay, without plagiarism. Because as we said, if the data and writing remains with someone, we don't have the right to take that data for us. Even the writing cannot be us. We have to write everything originally. How to do that, we'll talk about that. Now there are various types. Full review is your best option. Full review is a full-fledged. That means if you talk about 6 months that you are going to take for writing a review, you will review probably 100 papers or more. Try to understand the crux of the paper, and you try to detail them one by one, first as a compilation, and as and when you are compiling the schemes, you would be writing some critical views about those schemes as well. Whether they are good or not, whether there is any change which is happening, whether carbon reduction really is happening or people have just published anything. You will be critical about that. Finally coming to a conclusion part saying that maybe not much has been achieved or quite a lot has been achieved. And what could be the next pathway? You can also write it. Takes time, but you have that choice of writing in a very critical, constructive but critical way.